So, relationship falling apart. Here is your 5-minute fix of proven methods to interrupt the patterns you're running, and instead go deep, interrogate yourself first, and then just turn the nose by 1 degree. I'll explain those things as we go along. I'm Dr. Libby Kemkaran, and this is Tame Your Brain 23, a deep dive into relationship powers. And it's a free 5 to 9 minutes daily of behavioural psychology, of essential knowledge on how your brain works, to mend what's beginning to break before it happens, and then start new patterns to intelligently enjoy healthy relationships, because we all can. So let's put our eyes on kittens, because it calms the circuits, so you and your subconscious can begin to hear what I'm saying. It's a bit like hypnosis, it's just a little bit less freaky and a bit more enjoyable. So here's our babies today, who have got a new toy of a box, and we can see this will cause big excitement. So if I put that there, I think that works. Okay, perfect. So here we go. Relationships. Let's begin. First, let me ask you, would you be hypnotised? And it's probably a resounding no. And yet we sort of end up hypnotising ourselves. We regularly let our patterns rule us without questioning them. And we need to, in some way, break that pattern and try to get some healthier patterns running. So we talked yesterday about the 4 R's, and those are really profound patterns that we've done again and again in our lives. But do they serve you? Could you instead learn to pattern interrupt at each of those stages? Of course you can. Of course you can. And here's how. So number 1, at the resistance phase. So this is the feeling a bit like grit in the wheels, a little bit of grinding resistance when we see our partner or mother or child or work colleague or boss that just raises our hackles a bit. We get here because something is jarring with us, and something is causing us to wince, like when your ears blink at a slightly too loud noise. So the first intervention is to look at yourself. Are you being triggered by something specific? Is there something lacking? Is it a fact that you're lacking one of the 6 human needs that we covered right back at the beginning? And in fact, you're being poked in your significance button or the connection button. And no, that isn't a thinly veiled euphemism. Is their behaviour causing you to feel threatened, specifically in one area? Because your first step might in fact be to look for that and then zoom in and see, is this real? Do they really think that? Or am I just sensitised to it because of X, Y, Z? And this is something that we really do have to be aware of, because there is a pattern in relationships to fall into habits and fall into a pattern of reacting to something that could in fact be sorted out. So you check yourself first, and then once we've checked the terrain, once we've looked at that and decided what's really under your feet rather than a map in your head, then you can start to communicate. Because here's the thing, brutal honesty done kindly is a massive pillar in a relationship dynamic that can stay strong and exciting. And this means building some really decent strategy. Everything needs strategy. I know I'd say that because I'm a business head. But the trick is to tell, not talk. Talking is just flapping your gums and may or may not land. Speaking your truth is the opposite. It's a direct exchange of useful information. You have no control over what the other person does with that information, but you do have absolute control over what comes out of your gob. So this is the point. The perfect phrase is, when you do this, then I feel ... fill in the blanks. And this is like a magical formula that takes the heat out of it and makes it transactional. This equals that. So I'll say it again. When you do this, then I feel that. It's not you make me feel. You take responsibility for your own feelings by saying, then I feel. But it is that it's a direct response. This equals that. Because that's what you're saying. Not who's polarised into right and wrong. Obviously you're right. We know that already. Of course you are. We can interact on 3 levels with others. We either go into parent mode, which is do as I say. Or we go into adult, which is this way of doing it, where you say, when you do this, then I feel that. Or we go into child mode, which is when you do the I hate you when you flounce off in response to something they've done or said. And how many of us can recognise that we may perhaps have done that at one stage or another in our lives? And that's usually because someone else has gone into parent mode, and parent triggers child. Whereas adult to adult transactions are really healthy and really sustainable, and they help you flourish as a couple, or as a mother or as a father relationship, or as someone at your work. Adult to adult is the way to go. So think back to how you grew up, because you may not automatically go into adult mode if that wasn't what you saw. Did your parents argue? How did they deal with when they were angry with you. Because we form our model of the world aged 7 to 9, and it's based on the behaviours we see our magical big people running. Because they look magical, don't they? They have purses full of money and they drive and they have total power over your life. But here's the thing. We know now that we're big and grown up that we still question ourselves, we still doubt ourselves, and we never feel like we've perhaps done it perfectly, especially now. So that's it for today, especially as Mummy's finished her food. I'm keeping these short for a reason. I'm deliberately not overloading you with too much at any one time. It's trying to make it really accessible and really short, snippety things so that you can genuinely watch them while you're making a cuppa or listen to them when you're out for a walk, because I think it's really important to, we're all so busy, but it's really important to do this little bit of self-care in between times when we can fit it in. And we need to grow. It's one of your 6 human needs, and please do come back tomorrow for the next instalment on this, because I'll go through the next phase of the 4 R's. And in the meantime, please do share with someone or tag someone in this that you think needs to hear this right now, because all the other videos are available, by the way. My website's kemkaran.com. You can see brilliant photography on there from the lovely Avid Media, and I think Ash is watching now. Hi Ash! And we can always use the website to go and find the other videos on the YouTube channel, or sign up to my mailing list, which will tell you more about the news as it happens on my exciting online course, which is about how to take your business online in these changing marketplace that we're in now. So great to see you today. Thanks for coming. Stay well, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.